me just tell you this. He's on TV. He's got his own series. He's got his own miniseries. He's been in the movies. And now, ladies and gentlemen, he's returning to his roots on the stage, ladies and gentlemen, in Toronto. Allan Hawco.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. That's our director over there. You should shoot him.
Pan over to him. Look at him. He looks
Byrne.
very official.
That's Jason Byrne, director of theater. Nice. Jason is from Dublin, Ireland.
Really?
And he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. All right, I've got 3 things I need to cover off with you. First of all, and we'll get to the theater at the very end, what in the sweet name of heaven happened at the end of season 5?
For which show?
Oh, my God.
The Republic of Doyle?
I mean, I was in tears. So take me through, what did you say when you said, yes, let's put this on the air and hurt all our fans, break their hearts? What happened? What was the thought process there?
And now it's time for the Republic of Doyle. That's what I imagine it would be like.
It was so gut-wrenching.
If we were on in Mexico, which I think we are on in Mexico.
I could still cry. I hear that song.
Say something, I'm giving up on you.
I know.
And I immediately think of what happened. And I don't know if I should tell everybody.
Well, if you haven't seen 15 and 16 of season 5, it's a 2-parter, and like lots of stuff happens, and it's dramatic and funny, and has some cool moments.
It's unbelievable. And now at this point, we are all like dying to know. I feel really confident 6 is coming.
Do you?
I do, because how could you possibly leave us like that?
I wouldn't. You know what? Even if we weren't or couldn't for some reason do another season, I think I would do a feature film. So hopefully we're going to do a 6th season. But you know,
would do a feature film, what, to make it good for the fans?
Yeah, because I left this with an ending in mind. Perry and I have Perry Chafe, who's the co-showrunner with me. I don't know if you guys have spoken before.
I have. I'm putting it all on the screen then. And a co-showrunner,
Right.
co-show creator,
Yes.
co-executive producer,
Yes. And writer.
and
Yes.
writer.
Yeah. Oh my
and
God, that's a
and
lot of hats.
downright huggable.
Oh.
Eh? Now, that's not in the credits,
paid
but
you to
I've
say
heard
that.
that. I called him the ever elusive Perry Chafe, and now I've bagged the big whale, as they say.
That's actually really interesting. He is very elusive on a number of levels, but he's funny as hell. But
Yeah.
we set up that with an ending in mind, so we're going to do it regardless some way.
You set up the series with an ending in mind.
Yeah, we set up the season ender with we have a resolution for how we ended this season, and we need to see it come to fruition.
Because really, and for those of you playing the home game, so much is up in the air.
There was a lot. I mean, let's just talk first. Spoilers alert! If you haven't seen it,
That's what I'm afraid of. But let's just talk about it. Leslie could be dead. You could be on your way to jail for multiple homicides, right?
Jake would be on his way to.
Well, not
just for the
Alan.
record, lawyers out there, I have not been accused of murder myself. But Jake ended up tangled up with the dead mayor. The ex-mayor William Cadigan Clark gets killed, and played by Rick Roberts.
Who just won an award, by the way.
Yeah, he's a brilliant actor.
Yeah.
And Kristen Pellerin, who plays Leslie, she was kind of buried alive. And Jake may have got to her or not in time.
Do you remember when the shovel went in the ground? Were you not like, oh my God? Like I was a wreck.
Do you know when we put together that sequence, we had another tune in place. We had an amazing Amelia Kern tune in place for it that I really, really wanted to use.
Okay. Because how did you get that song, Alan? Honest to God.
Wayne Warren, who's our music supervisor, picked it and got it. I didn't know it. I mean, I'm not current with, and I listened to it the first time on a laptop, and I was like, I skipped it actually. I said no to it, and I wanted to do the Amelia Kern song, and it wasn't right. The Amelia Kern song is brilliant. I think it's a far superior tune, even far superior to Say Something. It just wasn't right for the moment. And then when the guys asked me to look at Say Something again, so I got someone to burn me a DVD of the whole cut. So I watched the whole cut in context. And my assistant and I were watching it in my living room, and she was on the floor crying.
Yeah.
And then,
It's gut-wrenching.
I showed it to some other people very close to me, just the final sequence, and I was in tears too. Like it was your gut tells you what the answer is, and when the gut tells you that you're crying over a show that you're in, and you wrote the whole thing,
it. Oh my
and you've already edited the episode. You've seen it 14 times. And if you're crying at the end, then
Right. Right. Is brilliant. All right, very good. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll knock on wood, and we'll move along to the next chapter, which is the reason why you were off the continent. Now, take us through how you got involved with the Book of Negroes, because how cool is that?
It's an amazing book, and Lawrence Hill wrote that fantastic book, and he and Clement Virgo put together the screenplay for it. And it's a miniseries for CBC and for BET, Black Entertainment Television in the States. And it came across my desk a long, long time ago, actually. I was in Vancouver, and I got the first script. My character, Solomon Lindo, is not even in the first
Are
script.
you a good fellow?
Yeah, I think that he's got some attributes that are certainly not bad. He's complex. Okay. Solomon's a complex cat. And the first script I read it, I just knew I wanted to be in it. I didn't even know the character. But I'd read the book. I forgot I'd read the book a long time ago, and I reread it again after I read all the scripts. And it's just a quality piece of work. And I'm committed to, doing stuff. The public broadcaster does a lot of important work, and this I feel like is a really important piece of material for Canada and for the world to see. So I'm delighted to be a part of it.
Cool. And now what's that like, though? Because you're basically, I tweeted you once asking you for something. You're like, I'm just like a hired actor. I don't.
Yeah.
So you just show up and you do your lines.
Yeah.
What's that like? Is it leisurely? Is it?
That was a real journey. It was certainly, we felt like a vacation.
Yeah.
Shooting in Cape Town, South Africa, one of those most beautiful cities, and the country is a phenomenal country. And I only worked a couple of days a week.
Yeah.
For a few hours. It was like
and
hilarious.
No one was like, okay, well, what about this and what about that?
The
right?
first few days was weird because I identify whoever, I run a television show, so I could see the question, I saw the problem,
Yes.
I knew the solution at times,
Sure.
or at least I thought I did, and I would see them walking towards me, and I'd be like, all ready to tell them what the answer was, and they would walk straight past me.
Right.
I'd be like, oh right, I don't care. I actually don't care about how long it's going to take us to get out of the scene. It's none of my business, and I'm going to go take a nap. I guess I'll take a nap.
Nice.
It was really, 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 really freeing and interesting, and the part is really challenging. And the director's Clement is a serious player. He's a great director. I've always been a fan of his, and I was kind of nervous to get a chance to work with him. And he looked after me really well. They all did, yeah.
Very good. And now we're excited, too, because it's coming to Halifax, coming to shooting in Nova Scotia, various areas and whatnot, and you're going to be a part of that crew as well.
I'm there for 2 days, but you know what I'm going to try to do, seeing how I'm going to be in town anyway. I think I'm going to
Putting it out there now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm definitely.
Okay, good.
I'm committed to it. I'm putting together some kind of event, so hopefully maybe some other Doyle cast members could be with me.
So we've covered off the TV show, we've covered off the miniseries, and now we're here with the Company Theatre, and you're putting on this wonderful production, and you're back to the stage. Are you happy about that challenge?
I'm delighted. Yeah, I've needed Jason, who we saw a view of, who's over there and can hear everything I'm saying, so it'll all be good. I've been needing to work with Jason for 5 years. I haven't done a play with the Company Theatre, which is, as you said, is my company, in 5 years. I haven't done a play in 5 years. I just needed to sort of get back to the stage. I missed it.
And there's no fooling around, right? Like, there's no do-over.
Well, in a way there is, because you get to do it again tomorrow night.
Okay, fair enough.
And when one moment's screwed up, then the next moment's you're living in the next moment right now. So it's a living organism in a way that is not present on a film set.
Okay. But you're also dealing with, I would say, a heavier matter in this. Would that be fair? Like it's a...
In some ways, but I will say, though, we're only a couple of days into the rehearsal process, but it's hilarious.
Is it okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hilarious stuff. I mean, there's always got some weight and stakes involved, but
Right.
I think people will have a really, really interesting time. Like, I think they won't be going to have their toenails pulled out of their
No.
feet. They're gonna, I think they'll laugh a lot.
Oh, good. Okay. Now, forgive me if this is out of line, but did you have to audition? Like, or did you just go, I want that role? Like, how does that work? Because it seems like you might have a little pull, but I don't want to say that.
I haven't auditioned for quite some time. I will say, though, I'm sure I will again and all that kind of stuff, but not for my own friggin' company.
I didn't know. I don't know how it works with you people. I don't know.
Auditioning is so awful. It's like such.
Is that true?
It's horrible. It's like you expose yourself. You got to get good at it. I got to remind myself how to do it, I'm sure. But the first time I produced a play with the Company Theatre, our first show, when we started this company. That man over there made me audition for the part of the play that I picked and hired him, flew him over here. He made me audition for my own play.
But you got it.
I couldn't believe, I hated him so much. I was like, this guy is such an ass. And he didn't really like me very much. And then the minute I saw him work with one actor in one audition, Richard Clarkin was the actor he worked with, and who ended up doing the show with us in the second run. It blew my mind. 2 seconds him working with Richard Clarkin, it was such a good audition. Richard Clarkin sent us money. He sent us he had such a good time working with Jason in the audition. He sent us a check for $50, a donation. And Richard Clarkin's also a hell of a guy, but
Yeah.
But after I saw him work with that guy, I was like, I love him. I want to work with him. And I've never really let go of the bottom of his pant leg since.
And there you have it. Is there a part of all of this Allan Hawco empire, if you will, that you love more? Like that you love, that you need to do it all? Like what is it that drives you?
Well, to be clear, the Company Theatre, Phil Riccio runs Company
Yes.
Theatre. I don't do anything anymore. I'm just like, I don't even know. I was making fun of it earlier. He still has me on the letterhead. I'm just grateful to be a part of the team, But I love acting, and I love writing. So I'll do that forever. And producing is a means to be able to play the parts that you want and create the trajectory of your own story instead of having someone else do that for you. And I've never been able to put my energy into that, to allowing other people to sort of create that journey for me. I've been lucky enough to be a part of that sometimes, but I don't rely on it.
Okay.
So the producing is purely just an ends to a means, or means to an ends. One of those.
Well, you do it all great. We're so glad that we caught up with you here.
I feel a little bit out of it. I'm sorry. There was a couple of times I zoned out, and I'm like, I'm dying.
It happens a lot. He glazes over when I talk.
No.
He hears like the Peanuts teacher, wah, 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 and then you're like, Republica Doyle, and then...
I'm almost falling asleep. I flew.
So, okay, so start us. So start your weekend, because you were Saturday, our time Saturday. You were on another continent.
Yeah,
Is that fair?
I shot full day of shooting, left set, got on a plane, flew to Joburg, 2 hours, got the Joburg flight to London, England, which was essentially 12 hours, 11 and a half hours. Then I got off that plane, ran across the airport, got to Terminal 1, flew to Toronto, which was about 9 hours, I guess, 9-hour flight, maybe almost 10 or 8 or 9 hours. And then got off the plane, got in a cab, almost threw up in the cab. Just so motion sickness, and I got to my apartment, got a shower. I'm renting a subletting place. Ran to the gig, hosted the event.
It's fresh as a daisy. Let's look at the tape. You see that? How do you do that? It's remarkable.
A coffee. It was a lot. It was fun, and it was a really high energy, and I was very excited to be there.
And then what happened on Monday?
Then I went home, went to bed, woke up.
Tuesday night.
Woke up the next morning, and we came to rehearsal. And I haven't really stopped since. And I've been working on Republic of Doyle development. We're developing scripts for a hopeful sixth season. So I'm working on that all morning, and then come to rehearsal, and then so I just broke for lunch, and
I'm here with the camera. I'm letting you go.
my kind director, just gave us the afternoon off. I'm going to go to sleep, I think, for about 15 hours, and I'm going to wake up and be fresh as a daisy.
Well, we thank you so much for hooking up with us here on our road trip, and we'll see you back on the East Coast before too long.
Thank you. That's how rumors get started, that we just hooked up on a couch.